Welcome to Cultivate the Ordinary podcast, curious conversations for the anxious, frustrated, and bored. I'm Travis.
And I'm Jessie. So often we're held captive by screens, schedules, and media that's mind-numbing and polarizing. This leaves us seeing dimly through a fog. We want to spark more imagination and a better awareness of God's presence in the everyday.
Join us on a fun journey of discovery and curiosity as we look at the ordinary through the lenses of joy, wonder, beauty, and hope. Hey, welcome to another episode of Cultivate the Ordinary podcast. I'm your host, Travis Fongsness. I have a really special and powerful episode to share. My mom, my daughter Joelle, and I were recently in our hometown of Rugby, North Dakota, where Mom and I grew up. And in our time there, we got to spend a good bit of time with my grandparents, Harold and Marlys Ostrem, who are 96 and 97 respectively, which is just incredible. In fact, Grandma, at the time of this recording of the podcast, turned 97 that day. It was her birthday. Really want to give a big shout out to my aunt, Deb Schmaltz, who has just faithfully provided incredible caregiving through the years for them, which has allowed them to live at home and flourish and do their best. And as a caregiver myself and someone that has cared for my own dad, I understand the work, the sacrifice, and those days and what all that means, and the gift it really is to the family and to those that you care for. So huge gift to the family, Deb, and thanks for all your work and love for them doing that. And got to shout out my Uncle Bob for always the hospitality, the fun times, the laughs whenever we stay up there. So there's an old African proverb that says, when an elder dies, a library burns to the ground. And I think about that quote a lot. And sometimes that quote comes to mind when we've lost a loved one that's, a grandparent or someone that's up in years and that they've seen so much life and kind of all the history and life that, was lived through them and all the stories. And what's really cool with this podcast is that, this library is currently standing. And so getting to hear history and hear stories and memories through the eyes of Grandpa and Grandma to do a podcast, what an incredible gift. So, wow. There's also a great line by the writer Kurt Vonnegut, who once said, enjoy the little things in life, because one day you'll look back and realize they were the big things. And as I've thought about that quote, I can't help but think that there's so much that Grandpa and Grandma have taught us in that vein of that quote of, just finding meaning, enjoying little things. I think that's helped them find meaning and purpose, even in their late 90s. And any of us who have known and loved them have lives certainly marked by the memories that those little ordinary moments with them have imprinted on us throughout life. And by way of closing on this introduction, I want to say that early on in our visit at the table for dinner, Grandpa, with tears in his eyes and voice cracking, as he describes his bride, Grandma, he said he couldn't have gotten a better wife. And Grandma looked at him with a sly grin and said, yeah, you really couldn't have. And that beautiful and funny interaction is a snapshot into their bond, as they've been married nearly 78 years at the time of this recording, which is the lifespan for a lot of people. All right, so that is the introduction I'd like to put out there for the podcast, and now we're just going to jump right in and hear from them as the stars of this show.
Well, good morning. We're sitting here in the front room in Rugby, North Dakota, and our beautiful family around us. We have the most beautiful family, and that stretches all the way from back to our parents and grandparents, now clear on to we're the parents and grandparents. A generation of believing in God.
Wow.
And if you don't think I know a little bit about Jesus. All these books are the ones I've been teaching Harold and well, I can't Sherry
Okay.
at afternoon. Uh, I'm learning every day.
Mm. Still learning. So you have taught, whether the Bible or kids, how many years, like, since you've been teaching?
Started with Sunday school way back when we were at that little white church, and George Longsness asked me if I'd take his class because they were going to be gone. And I loved it. I had Freddie Lean and the little boys. They were so cute. Uh, I think that's what made me want to continue to teach.
Mm. Yeah. Let's rewind, go back, way back in time to your guys' childhoods, growing up, being born in the, was it the 20s? When would you both have been born?
So I'm born 30.
30?
I'm
Okay,
29.
29. So this is like sort of going into the Great Depression era.
Yeah, I remember it.
Talk about some of that. What you guys remember is
It was tough. We didn't have much as far as money. I didn't know what it was until we got a few bucks. But it was tough. They were on the farm, and usually in the 30s it was drought.
okay.
So the dust was flying, and it was not fun. But the parents and grandparents, they made it.
Mm.
It was tough going for them, but Grandpa Ostrom, he come over from Norway.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma Ostrom come, but she come later. They had met in Norway.
They met in Norway.
They had met in Norway for some reason. We didn't really know each other. And they met each other when they got in the United States.
Wow.
And they finally got married. Grandma was good, but she was tough. She'd tell us to do something, we'd do it. I wasn't around Grandpa a lot when I was young, because he was always farming. And he had bought the farm, and he bought some more land, so he was very busy. Tell him about the threshing days. Oh, yeah, during threshing, they had job, tumble.
Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweeds?
Tumbleweed?
Yeah.
No.
Tumble haulers.
Oh, I don't know.
Guys who were hauling in a bale of bundles, and they'd drive up alongside the threshing rig, and then they'd have a spike pitcher. He'd jump on with the guy who owned the wagon, and the two of them would throw these bundles into the wagon, into the thrash machine. And when that got done, then they'd pull out the next one and pull in, and the straw come out of the back of the trash machine, went into this big pile back here. And most of the time, the farmers kept that for cattle in the wintertime. They could be protected in that big straw machine behind the machine there.
Hmm.
And I never bundled haul because I couldn't handle that job, but I hauled bundles in and had a spike picture. He'd jump on with me and you stand and bundle fly all over like that. So that was very interesting. Most of the time they were hired guys to come in.
Yeah.
And the thrashing machine was run by a steam engine, bag steam engine. And that has a long belt about 35, 40 foot long. and that went up to the trash machine, and that run it. So then somebody had to be back there to throw some coal in the trash in a big dra- machine back there. Oh. And that was a hot job we were doing that then, but that's it. Oh. Well, yeah, I got by well doing that. So. Didn't they travel and hire out to do other crops? Yeah, they would do niggers and trash, and some of the people that was in close, that you couldn't actually drive too far because in a full that old trash machine, and I was digging heavy. So they had to pull out over there for people. They had to take a big steam engine over there, hook up with 30-foot belt. Be productive. Boy. The fun part was the cook car. Okay. The women would start about 4 in the morning baking bread and making desserts, and the men would come and have a big breakfast. I got to go down to the Munyer cook car. I never saw the one up by our house. I suppose I was too little maybe then. And they'd make pies. What every cook car around the country would try to outdo the other one. Really? With the best, well. That's me. Hey, I like that. They'd have a little box with a washstand. And the men would all wash their face and hands and then go into a long taste to be inside. Okay. So tell us about I think I've heard you describe, so this is, growing up being born in the 30s and in very rural North Dakota. At that time, you would have remembered seeing Native Americans riding even on horseback or into Rosie. Into town. Oh. They'd be bareback. Bareback. Bareback, no, and the darker skin. And you never had saddles and goes, really? No. They just grabbed the reins from the horse and they'd jump and they'd land on it and away they will. So they would be coming into Rugby to get supplies, or? I have no idea because it was this. Wasn't sure. I know Mother talked about this too, so maybe they did some trading in different towns from up north. And at that time they didn't have houses that I know of. Yep. Wow, that takes us way back. Tell us a little bit about school and your one-rooms, like what it was like to go to school. What was school like? We had a little one-room school about a quarter of a mile from. So Evan and I would walk to school. I was down there from the first through the third grade. And then Bev joined me the next year. A teacher would be hired for those 9 months, and their wages were so little, I don't know why they did it. They would room with whatever farm had an open bed. The Dukshire family had, I think 4 kids and then got twins. And they were just living in that rented house on the hill out there before you got your mother and dad. So I went to school with Dukshires and the Seal kids and the Munyer kids. And we had a black pot bullied stove. And if you weren't right beside it, you'd be half frozen. Oh, wow. We had an interesting teacher. She was a math nut. And I probably wasn't real good in math, I'm still not good in math. She would take a ruler, and if you didn't have it properly done, you got whacked hard with that ruler. Oh. So I learned to just hate anything to do with math or arithmetic. I see why. But one of the other teachers, like having Mother at home, loving and kind. She up and married and moved away and had a whole family. I think my teacher down there was Miss Kern.
Okay.
She was really a good teacher. And she lived out there too. But I didn't have no, I had about 20 to 30 clients all the time.
Okay.
I got old. He was in town.
Okay.
College school in town. There's a school we had out there. It was over there by, it was about where Salins on the farm.
Okay.
Clear away, so they didn't want to haul me over there. Because in wintertime, it was terrible. So they took me to rugby. I went to school in rugby all the time. All the school, my life was in
Okay. The public school.
public school, yeah. So I come out pretty sharp. When I was in fourth grade, again, we moved up to the school by the highway.
Oh, okay.
And that had indoor toilets with the cans below that they had the empty outside, But otherwise, one day in the former school, the kids were so mad at the teacher, and it was snowing, and she had to go out to the outdoor toilet. There was one for the boys, one for the girls. They locked the door.
Oh boy.
Or she'd been mean over the arithmetic.
It's like watching Little House on the Prairie.
Well, I don't know how long, but then she settled down pretty good enough to go. The only teacher I remember that I didn't like.
Really?
So we were really lucky. She never came back.
So when did you, so kind of keeping the story going through time, then when did you two meet?
Oh, it was, but I knew who she was because your dad and grandpa, they were visited me with their lessons. So I knew who she was. And kind of had an eye on her, but then we got young how old you were.
How old at the time?
How old was I then? Was 15. Yeah,
15. Okay.
And well, anyway, we got together and Grandpa and Aunt's busing and got a traction rig together. And so I finally met her and took a look at I thought I'm going to try and get closer to her in school if I can. So I worked my way up and right before he'd come into my senior room. We had a junior.
He's a junior.
And I thought he was always dressed up in a beautiful shirt and dress pants and curling blonde hair and blue eyes. And, good morning, Lola. We were sat behind her, then in the upper classes. And I kind of like, why are you getting close? But I didn't dare get too close. But when she'd get walk out where I'd follow her out, and then I'd say, oh, or how are you today? Different things, that he didn't push herself at all. All the boys would walk me home because I lived clear down blocks away. I loved being, because I was used to only men on the farm. I would run and hide when a woman drove in. I was terrified of women we never saw.
Huh.
And so then I just enjoyed the boys come. George was one of the boys. They were always fun. But I never dated.
So at some point, so I've heard you describe, now you were a great basketball player, Grandpa.
What?
You want to talk a little bit about your basketball playing?
Oh, yeah. I was basketball in every sixth grade. They played some, but it was mostly learning more. And we got in the eighth grade, we had a team, and I made that. And so I played basketball in the eighth grade. And I got into high school, I was good enough. So I was a freshman. I got on the team.
Wow.
Yeah. So I played for 4 years on that basketball team. And we ended up, I think, what was it? We ended up winning something like that. Oh, it's a state championship.
Went to the state?
Yeah, it was state. Yeah, we went to state, yeah. And we played the champions in the state when I was a senior. And
And then I've heard that
we got, what was the point we got? 29 to winners or so. We didn't win, but we got second place
okay.
in the championship. That's the
Really good
Neil Precious' son.
Oh, okay.
Became so famous. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
We had a good team, and we made it to the state anyway. So I felt pretty.
That's a pretty big accomplishment.
I love basketball. I play basketball a lot.
Hmm. So, and then I've heard Grandma, you said one of the things that attracted you to Grandpa was the legs and his legs in the court. So
I can't.
you attracted to Grandpa's legs, you said, on the playing basketball. I remember you saying that.
He had the longest leg. He still does. How many like do him? Average nice legs.
Average nice legs. So
The one funny episode is the first time he asked me out was to a high school dance. We had a lot of dances. Little bands would come, 2 or 3 players. Down in the gymnasium, high school.
okay. Yeah.
Down in the basement part there, and that would attract a lot of kids.
Sure.
And he brought me in, and then I overheard 2 of the girls say, "He's dating her."
He's dating.
Normally, I would think they probably look forward to his coming to dance with them or something, but he just left me standing there. Probably do the same thing again. No, I wasn't more to make it look too serious.
He's sick.
So I met her again not too far from then. And then we go George and Phyllis Funsnitz and had so much fun with them. And what really attracted me to her, we were visiting a little bit, and she took off. She was walking down the aisle. And I thought, I wore high heels and those sandals there. I love that wiggle. She wiggle the wiggle. She got the best wiggle on me ever seen.
So the wiggle did you in. That was the last straw. Oh, man. Fell prey to the wiggle. So then you guys were dating.
Yeah. Yeah, we started dating. And it went kind of slowly start quick, but I kept on after her, and she finally kind of melted down a little bit. I went off to college for the first quarter, and that was the most stupid thing I ever did.
How come?
I wanted to be a teacher. They would treat you like a little child. They were all old. It was very. So then mother sent me down for a course at Fargo. And that was free. You went shopping, you learned how to sew a garment before you left. It was the 6-week. Wonderful friends down there with just, I think, 6, 7 of us. Kind of more country girl learning. One got married that following spring. So, a lot of that by train. We would travel hardly from Minot to home.
Hmm.
People didn't drive back and forth like they do now. We never had nothing to drive.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah, we made it, and we got closer together as time went by. I I followed this little that really fascinated me. I think the Waco came from the two pails of water we had to haul from her to she and screw on, and drive from for Waco. And then I caught up with her one day and started talking to her. And she kept talking to me, so I thought maybe she likes me a little bit. But then she left and we went to college or something. I never went to college. I went from high school out to the farm. Okay. And started working. And mom went for a while. Never finished, but we got going together pretty thick. And I, 15, it was, what am I trying to say here? 19, 19 what year? Well, you have me so full. That was like that.
So you're trying to say when you got married, or
Well, no, we got married in 48.
okay,
1948.
right after World War II?
It's a long time ago. And so we said, we went off to the farm, and you moved your mom and dad, and yeah, my mom. Well, that spring, then I was expecting Kathy. Why we're so sick.
Huh.
Thought I was gonna die. She could kick like a brown mule. Yes. And she came out. I mean, you really have to know about this. I I'm in pain, pushing pain. I go down to the barn. I say to Harold, we've got to go to the hospital. Well, he said, I have to finish milking the cow. And he did. So by the time we get into the hospital, then, and she was doing a lot of kicking, you were ready to come
Ready to
out.
come out?
They put 2 doctors on me because I gained so much weight. And I can remember the doctor saying, it's going to be a big bouncing boy. And out comes this girl just ready for the world. And then Harold brought me chocolate covered cherries after the hospital.
Oh, what's that?
They said, what did you eat? And I said, well, Harold, Rob, I haven't eaten anything but your food except cherry. How many? I said, I think 3. Kathy didn't like them.
Kathy didn't like him.
But she was so much fun. We just had lots of fun. Very determined little girl.
Yeah. Always those.
She's the type that if she was naughty, like smoking Harold cigarettes.
There's a story we haven't heard long.
And so I said, no, I don't want you to do that again. I didn't know what would be in those.
Sure.
It wasn't lit, but you did try the lighter.
Eat it.
So now she's about, 3? I said, you're going in the closet. So she went and got her chair. She got her doll. She got her book. Right? She said, see you later, Mom. I shut the door. Energy.
Energy.
She was born with, she ran everywhere.
She still runs. Still runs everywhere.
She climbed the windmill here to the top when she was little. And I said, Harold, you just don't say one word. I'm going to climb up the windmill. So I talked to you all the way up. What's it like up there? What do you see and everything? And I said, have you seen everything you want to see? Yeah, the top of the barn and the top of the trees and the fields out there. And I said, well, I'm going to have to go down. Do you think you could come with me? So then she started coming back.
Okay.
I, I could hardly breathe.
Oh, I bet. The fish.
She landed on me.
You're both in trouble.
I don't know. And they're sharp.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Steroid.
But she made it down.
But we could tell you all the reams. I mean, she was learning the whole world and the whole time.
No time.
Had friends go.
Can you talk a little bit about the weather and some of the worst blizzards or the winters way back? What's in the worst time?
Well, the winters were tough. I didn't get to school quite a few days because everything was blocked. Even Highway 2 was blocked. And lots of snow. I know we had how many inches were those all out. I mean, we finally shoveled a walkway to the barn. And I come out of the door of the house and the snow was over my head. I'm starting toward the barn. Wow. Yeah, I don't remember how many inches we had with Lori. It was a lot. And go down the barn. Of course, they had to keep all the cattle in. Couldn't let them out because they couldn't walk enough either. So, we load that up on a one day wheelbarrow, haul it just to the front door and dump it out. That's how far we do get. And we made it through that winter and the spring come along and it was pretty good. Yeah. We got to feel right again.
We had no money.
Yeah.
No, it's not like we was going to town and that was spent.
Yeah.
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 And
In that big house, we used 3 rooms because you couldn't heat any more than that. With a coal furnace, they'd have to go out of town to bring back coal.
wow. Well, we finally had a team of horses and a sleigh. There was four runners. We put the box on, throw the box on regular box, one box on the sleigh. And we go to town and buy all the groceries. She set them in front of that sleigh, and I go and get coal and shovel that into the back. So then we go home and unload all this stuff.
The sleigh was more like a flat fin. And don't worry.
No,
Every word can bring up a description of something.
but it was a tough winters. Some of that.
How about the winter when you got married, your honeymoon?
Oh, we went to Minot.
We were going to Bismarck.
I think highway from Minot to Bismarck on block. But anyway, we got to Minot now. It's the main thing.
It snowed all night, all the next day, and then the next day was Thanksgiving. So we went out for dinner. We spent the whole honeymoon in our hotel. Well, we finally got a less hotel room because I think that one was booked. So down on a different floor. You couldn't. They had to open up from Rugby to where Honor probably we could come through.
Wow.
And there were the snow was up that high that you.
It's crazy. Yeah. Or the plow goes out of Highway 2, or you did, on this year. You go down the middle, and this was way up over the top of that snowplow. And they're not small.
Right.
You can make a cut, see, and then finally you get down the end, and you come back and make another cut. Blow it off, it was all blowed off. And it was quite a winter.
Never forget it.
And we got married, and we ended up out at the farm. my folks. And of course, I helped do chores then. And mom, she was not feeling good. You blame it on me.
What she did.
But women,
Even scarier was during the Depression. I was pretty small, but every fence was covered clear to the top with thistle.
Wow.
Even in rugby, backyards were all thistle. And we had a neighbor man that would put on a black, it looked like leather, coat all the way down. And he'd stand out there where the men would pile thistles into big, well, as big as that room. And then he'd start burning them.
Rushy this.
Anyway,
And you remember seeing the sky black and dust.
oh,
Just
it was awful with thistles. At highway, every place had thistles running. And then they were dropping seeds.
I'd drive down the highway, find it, and thistle go across, and pretty soon another one ran across. Kept on like that the whole time you're driving. Thistles were rolling across the highway. Rushy thistle.
Some farmer out with mother and daddy when I was still at home had horses. I don't know how many. They would come racing into our yard this whole. I mean, they would have killed us if we'd have been in that path to get water.
wow.
So somebody had just turned them off that evidently had no water for them. But Daddy's well worked. If that wind was blowing, otherwise you'd have to pump. It was a different world. Just there was no money, so you didn't shop. But we made it.
You made it.
Mhm.
That seems to be the theme. So take us a little bit later in the time of what it was like to be during World War II. I mean, you had classmates that went off. I mean, how scary or what was that like?
The train would come in and the soldiers were hanging out the window. It would stop here. And people would be up there to give them candy or treats or something. I mean, they were scared half to death because they was, just out of high school, some of them. And Harold got a draft notice, but then they canceled it because they thought he was a farmer. And then Delmer got it too. I don't remember what word.
And George was notified that I know. He was really young.
And if you were flat-footed, they couldn't take you.
Yeah.
One of Harold's classmates got shot getting off coming in the water.
At D-Day?
That would have been in Japan.
Oh, in Japan. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so.
So they were up in the trees. And so it looked totally clear, for them. So I have no idea who else.
Was lost. Do you remember it being really scary with the Nazis in Japan? Like, what was going to happen? Were they going to invade? Do you just remember the fear, or was it more?
Well, there was no television.
Okay.
There's no. And there was a radio only if you had money for the battery.
Yeah.
And so people would be clustered around the radio if you could possibly afford it to hear. And Colton Bourne and the news would come on and explain the whole war.
Okay. That's how you say.
So the older, like Grandpa Blossom, was just glued to that.
Well, Grandpa Ostrem, he come up from Minnesota. He had a farm down there in Minnesota, and he had machinery, so he moved Sylvan up to I don't know, farther east. he started. And he moved it from there and into Rugby. Okay. And he bought this farm that I'm on. We're out there. And I was back in 1910. How bad has bought this farm. And then his dad moved out. Okay. Grandpa took over his other farms. He had about 3 farms here. He'd go from one to the other. And Dad took over that one land when we were, and we still doing the family.
And you farmed, do you remember how many years you farmed?
Yeah,
Well, when you took, I mean, yeah.
I took over. We farmed more than 50 some years.
Wow. 50.
Now, girl farmed up all the time we were married.
Yep.
And when we've been married 50, like,
Before he moved into town.
That's a long time. Half a century of farming. He did a lot of work. Put bread on the table, Americans all over the.
Yeah, so we would been going some more because we were both in good shape.
Yeah.
I called Mark and I said, if you want to farm, we better get out here if we're going to quit. Unless somebody else wants it. And so then you moved out there, started farming. I figured we would be farming for 56 years.
Okay, his dad was doing engineering for what, the 2 years of that and in school. He really liked it down there.
Well, let's move to the kind of towards the final part of this interview, and let's talk about kind of reflections now looking back. Told some great stories of what got you to where you did and farmed that long. So when you guys think of being married, we said 78 years or so. I want to hear from you. What is some of your best marriage advice? Marriage is hard. What's some advice that?
Every couple would be so different in their tolerance of what the other one might say or do. Maybe we get to know each other too well. So we might be more critical of their weakness rather than watering the strength. It ain't easy.
She was awful particular, I come in the house and she was over at the table moving a dish. I said, what are you doing? No, this ain't the right place. She'd have to move it a little bit over, Particular and drive you up a tree. Now, I wasn't that particular, of course, being working outside, come, college and very crap on her, well, that's too bad. But, I appreciate it. No, she was particular because I got that way too then after a while.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you probably remember, you step out of line, boy, bang, you got it. I felt so sorry for the girl's boyfriend. He said, I'm the boss, Sheriff. What are you doing here? They're only like 50 or 60. They hid behind the driver, 2 of them. They aimed to get the 2 girls.
That's.
I went out there and the little heads speaking up of behind the driver.
Well, if they can get through that, I guess.
In retrospect, it wasn't us at all. It was God that put us in these different situations that made everything, because we liked all the boys that they brought. And the girls, I mean, we had fun. A lot of things happened out in the farm.
Well, it sounds like
A good place to grow up.
Yeah.
One of the best.
It sounds like mom has said not all farmers were like this and you guys were very busy, but you guys took time to sometimes still travel, take the kids, camping and things
Yeah.
where you did leave the farm for breaks.
We went up to Canada a lot. A lot of swimming. I think if they'd had their choice, they'd always pick a lake.
There's a beautiful lake up in Canada, and we camped there. 'Cause it wasn't that far up there, about 80 miles about.
The most.
Deb and I were Deb and I were talking the other day about going on one of the trips. We were heading west. Anyway, I fixed all these shrimp to have for dinner.
Starting route to home.
And all of a sudden,
Head south.
was I up
Epic southwest. Then take the first right onto 14th Street Southwest.
Deb said, shrimp done. We were down on the highway. That was as far as we got. She was ready to use. So she remembered little thing. It was crowded. It was tiresome. One time we forgot all the sweaters and coats, so we had to go home. It got real cold at the lake. Killarney, I think.
Canada.
And not enough money to buy everybody a new jacket or sweater.
Yeah.
Well, we buy one.
Yeah. All right. So looking back at nearly 100 years each, what are the two of you most proud of? What are you most proud of in your life as you look back? What are you most proud of? Proud.
Our 4 kids.
Yeah.
And I would say the kids and grandkids. I mean, we have watched all of you grow up. And even when you adopted, I mean,
We're right about
light, nice, good looking. Carol always thinks how good looking they are because they keep getting all his genes.
You're responsible for
them German Russian kids. They're nothing to look at.
The Lord tells us the way you see this.
No.
But I mean, who could have that many children? And the only one we haven't been around at all would be the new little girl. And maybe some of Hans's last on, But when they come, they're very shy because they don't know us. And there's not time to really get acquainted, The last time we saw Hansus, they came down from Canada with the 2-week-old baby just to see us down. And that's our last time. They tried to come and it just time-wise didn't work out.
So how many great grandkids now would fit 50 some? Yeah, like
What the children and great grandchildren, I think it's 51.
But yeah.
It's a lot.
Look what you started. You did. It's the same. You're responsible for the.
It worked for me.
Yep.
Another year here.
Your fault.
Is your
I can't remember what Marlys said yesterday.
Wasn't that many?
No, it wasn't.
all right? So, last couple of questions, and I want to hear if you have any final thoughts. What in your life continues to still bring you the most happiness now? These days, where do you find happiness?
When Harold isn't crabby. If he's had a bad night, we all have a bad day. And then he can be really loving. So it's kind of
Well, I have to be, both. When she says they're very loving.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I mean,
So we've been buying more colorful shirts so it looks good. I'll dress up.
You look so good in that shirt.
Some days are good, some days are not so good.
we've been together for 58 years. And like the guy said, that's a long time to look across the table with the same woman.
It's more than 58. But it can be a month at a time before I'll get out.
Yeah.
You can do $1 anything just to get out.
So, Grandma, you have always been someone that learns, and you inspire us all to just keep learning. Keep, at 97 here on your birthday, you're writing poetry, you're researching genealogy, you have boxes and boxes of things in the basement about the world and discovering and insects and culture and recipes. What are some of the projects right now you're kind of working on? Creatives.
It's difficult because morning starts so late by the time he's through. It's almost dinner time. Sharing has been a blessing beyond compare. She's a friend. She's our new relative.
Yeah.
She really thinks she's part of the family.
You said you were telling me you're still writing poetry. You're still writing poetry.
Yeah. I'm writing about a cat. Right now.
Well, all right. So I'm going to end it with this question. I know we've done a long interview and you're getting hoarse. We'll kind of close with how we started. How do you want to most be remembered? How do you want people?
But that was fun.
How do you want people to remember you?
Oh, that he was a pretty good guy.
I think you will.
But hard to get on with sometimes when I was working, boy. Things had to fly, fooling around. And we gotta do that if we're getting the place. And it was tough times and we made it. But I enjoy people. I enjoy women.
Deb has really royally spoiled it,
Amazing carrier.
And how would you say we can be gone? 30 minutes at the longest?
No, probably an hour.
No.
Oh, I have the camera.
Like you're going to run over to nothing to the dollar store but as far as any social activity, none.
Yeah.
The house has been a dream. It works for wheelchairs, it works for bed, it works for bathrooms. Couldn't have been better.
Yeah, what's your farm? You went out to farm?
No, I'm talking here.
Oh,
No, we couldn't have lived on the farm the way that was. The bathroom was clear at the other end of the house. Oh. It's got enough here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and it's just it's been a really special time for us. Always is, and thank you so much for taking the time to share your insights and wisdom.
Yeah, we enjoyed it too.
Keep loving.
Looking back, a lot of things comes to mind as we didn't remember.
Yeah.
You go by somebody with a sour face, smile at them, and see what they think church goes.
Yeah, it was quite all right.
Yeah. Beautiful life, and it's still going.
Well, we had good times and bad times like every other couple will have. You never be a couple without it, But we got always go back together.
One night I prayed for all the grandchildren and great grandchildren. My gosh, there were a lot of. I just keep on going. And I say, the one that sat there, because I couldn't remember. Don't check me about 10 minutes.
Those prayers keep getting longer for years.
So at least know you're being prayed.
Now as we started out to Mom and I, now look at the bunch we got.
But you have to think God has everything in its plan that He wants done, or if He wants touched. Maybe Sherry because of Bible study. Maybe Sherry because we need her.
That's wise.
Needs are very important too. The Lord isn't just.
Yeah.
So we try to make this little saucer full of food, but very apt is cut into little pieces.
Well, we've had a pretty good life together. We've had them in the years together, and hope we can another one or two. We can make our anniversary anyway.
Well, thank you for all that you shared and for taking an hour to talk.
Thanks for listening to the podcast today. I hope you found something helpful, hopeful, or thought-provoking. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to any resources mentioned in the podcast. And we also have links in the notes for our own resources to check out. We would really love to hear from you. And we're also really grateful for your support by sharing the podcast episodes with your friends and family and leaving a rating and review. May we all regain and maintain our wonder, hope, and inspiration as we look at our ordinary through new and fresh eyes.